Hi all, today we are going to see the top 10 musical instruments which we can learn. Researchers have found that learning to play a musical instrument can enhance verbal memory, spatial reasoning and literacy skills. Playing an instrument makes you use both sides of your brain, which strengthens memory. The 10 musical instruments which we can learn are: starting with the most difficult, violin, and ending with the easiest, harmonica. First in our list is violin. To watch someone playing the violin, you might not assume that it was difficult to do so, as they play with such a huge amount of elegance. They make it look easy, but this is definitely not the case. There are many reasons why violin is the most difficult of the instrument on this list, in our opinion. For the start, the head position and where the violin has to be rested can prove a challenge and a big learning curve for the people. It's so easy to get this wrong. On the top of this, the strings are quite close together and need to be played with a bow. Learning how to use a bow is not an easy thing to do at all. But when you need to be specially precise, it becomes even more of a challenge. On top of this, there are no markers to show where the fingers need to go. So, this is an art you will have to learn without fret to guide you. Hitting a bump note has never been easier. The violin is a beautiful instrument, but it can be tough to get right. Second in our list is organ. If you want to just be able to hit a few notes and get a decent sound, then the organ is not the hardest instrument to learn. But to actually master it, you need incredible patience and a lot of brain power. It is one of the instruments that requires you to be thinking about 5 different things all at the same time. As well as playing the key on the organ, you will be using your feet to control pedals. There is no sustain pedal either, so this instrument means that you need to hold the note for a longer to keep the sound going. Third in our list is French horn. The French horn is not as popular as some of the choice in this list. However, it is still a great instrument and is popular among bands. If you are looking for the easiest band instrument to play, you should probably look beyond this challenging brass instrument. It uses a lot of partials and way more than in many other brass section instruments. High notes are closer to one another, and this means that it is really tough to differentiate between them and get the right note. To get it right and make the sound you want the instrument to make, you have to learn how to move your lips in a specific way. It can start to get very confusing. A lot of people who learn the instrument take a long time to get used to moving the mouth around. It can also be very tough to get the projection level you need. The French horn is expected to be one of the louder instruments, but it faces the back of the orchestra. You need a good set of lungs on you. Fourth in our list is accordion. The accordion is definitely a fun instrument and it makes us all think of European street musicians. If you want to learn how to play it, you won't be too surprised to learn that it can be one of the most challenging instruments out there. Just watching someone play it can be a bit confusing. It is clear that there is a lot going on when someone is pressing those buttons and pushing and pulling the separate part of an accordion. Some people have said that it is like being able to play a piano and bagpiper all at the same time. It is also a big, hefty instrument that can be quite tiring to play for a long period of time. This also makes it one of the hardest instruments for kids to learn. There are huge number of keys and buttons to master so that you are playing the correct notes and chords, and both hands are doing very independent thing. All the time you have to be moving air in order to protect the instrument too. It is not the most popular instrument to learn, so finding a tutor can be another challenge here. Fifth in our list is harp. The harp is another instrument that is quite a specialist one to play. A harp is complex in a different way to some of the other instruments. You don't have to use all your limbs, but you do have to deal with a lot of strings to pluck. Learning which string to pluck, memorizing melodies, and then playing without mistakes can all be challenges. On top of this, there is quite a lack of information about playing a harp when compared to other instruments like the piano or guitar. Sure, if you are looking to play an instrument that sounds angelic and heavenly, then it is definitely one of the best instruments to learn. But be prepared for a long journey with a lot of frustration along the way. Sixth in our list is drums. Drums are somewhere in the middle where it comes to difficulty, but it really depends how in-depth and complicated you want to go with your instrument. If you just want to be able to play a simple beat of rock or punk song, then it might be relatively easy to get to. Drums certainly aren't the easiest instrument to learn. In fact, if you want to reach the very top of your game, the drums can be one of the hardest instruments to master. If you watch a jazz drummer or someone playing complicated polyrhythms, then you will see what we mean. The more in depth you go with the drums, the more difficult things become. You can get started with some very simple basics, but it is possible that you could spend 10 years playing the drum and still not at elite level of ability. The main reason for this is fact that all four limbs sometimes need to be doing different things, and this can feel unnatural. If you have tried to rub your stomach and pat your head at the same time, you will know that many people find two limbs tough. Now add in your feet both doing different things and you will get some idea how tough it can be. Seventh in our list is guitar. Some aspects of playing the guitar are not too much of a challenge. A simple melody can be taught in the first lesson. The classic like Smoke on the Water or Seven Nation Army are melodies that are very simple and can be played within an hour of practice. However, there are many different hurdles. People sometimes struggle to switch to playing chords rather than individual notes, as well as working out where you need to place your finger to play notes and chords. You may need to build up finger strength and speed in order to play certain riffs and notes too. A guitar isn't up there with the most difficult instrument, but that doesn't mean that it is easy either. Just think of all the people you know who started lessons and then didn't finish. What makes guitar one of the best instruments to learn for children and adults alike? The abundance of information. It is one of the most widely played instrument out there. This means that it is not hard to find someone to share information or great books and videos online. Eighth musical instrument in our list is piano. This is yet another instrument that can be relatively simple to start. Being able to play a few chords and melodies is the first step, and it doesn't take too much effort to get there. Someone can teach you to play a few melodies relatively quickly, and you could even get to a level where you can play chord along to pop and rock songs in a few weeks of lessons. If you are looking to learn how to read music, get your technique perfected and become a master, then make no mistake, the piano is a huge undertaking. However, compared to some instruments, you are using less limbs and it is easier to trigger the note. No blowing or complex plucking. Another thing that makes piano easier, just like guitar, is that there are a lot of different learning material to get you started. Also, finding a digital piano or keyboard to start with this much easier than finding a specialist instrument like a harp or an accordion. Ninth in our list is ukulele. Learning how to play the ukulele is a very good option for music beginners. If you have never played an instrument before, the ukulele can be a simple introduction. As well as being affordable and lightweight, they are relatively gentle on your fingers and chords can be easy to learn. There are only 4 strings, so many chord positions are easier. On top of this, nylon strings are the norm for ukuleles, whereas steel guitar strings can be really bad for your fingers. Ukulele is another instrument that has a lot of learning materials and courses out there. Our 10th instrument is harmonica. The harmonica is maybe not a quite fashionable as many of the other choices on the market. However, it is a very fun instrument and possibly the easiest of all of them. It has 2 main things in its favor: portability and being almost impossible to sound bad. A harmonica comes in a certain key. For instance, a harmonica might come in the key of C. This means that if you are playing along to a song in C, then everything you play will sound good. It may not be perfect, but at least you won't sound like a horrible bum note. Harmonica is also extremely portable, much like the ukulele. There aren't many pocket-sized instruments out there, but a harmonica is exact that. You can get it out and start to practice whenever and wherever. Hope by now you have an overview of few musical instruments to start learning with. Thank you for watching till the end. Please don't forget to like, subscribe and hit the bell icon for notification.